Hey yo, that's your boy Kendel Killa Laurent from the TK International, and you're watching Cranberry TV. Stay tuned. Boom. Anyway, yeah, what's up? Well, my mother named me Kendel Killa Laurent. The name Killa came about a very funny story. Um, Back in Loda, we were playing well, we didn't even really have a band per se yet, but a band from Trafalgar came up, Lucas, that was from Ayub Moran, Ronald Charles, and Hezron Charles, I can't remember all of them names, and they came up with that to do a little matinee dance. But when they were setting up, before they started playing, the DJ playing, so they put a little drum machine and two keyboards in the keyboard stand, and I decided I was going to play a little thing and put a beat on the drum machine, one beat on the drum machine, and started off slow. And I started playing within a bassman. It was just Alpha and myself, and myself, and I started playing the leads and all the solos on one keyboard, and the other keyboard have bass and piano. So we started just playing that whole night, and people come there, shh, Mr. Badman, and are you Morancy? At the time, Jackie, shh, man, he was a killer on the keyboards, and the name just stuck, and everybody. And then after they invited us to travel a couple of times for us to perform, and everybody checked, yeah, man, this is a killer on the keyboard. So that's why the name came about. Some people say it's a different thing, but it's just because of actually playing music. It has nothing to do, nothing negative. Some of my biggest influences, what I can just name for now, I'll just name two of my biggest, because watching these two persons when I was growing up, even before I could play music, these are the people that actually got me into the whole music thing. Fitzroy Williams from Exile One fame, and Cornell Fingers Philip. And if I have to say what got me into the studio recording production business is Donovan Gabriel. So these are different people. For Cornell, his whole vibe when he was playing, it was just wild. He's just pouring beer on his head, or pouring water on his head and shaking his lot and checking like, this is a tight boy. And then Fitzroy Williams, he's soloing, and I could remember once upon a time when I spoke to him, like not recently, but when I was into the music and asked him about where he learned to play, and Fitzroy told me that he learned to play music on his own, and I was like, wow, was I joking? I'm not too bad. And I just love this style of Stevie Wonder as well. I love to see Stevie Wonder play. And but this, I can say, these four people are the people I really looked up to even before I got into music, that actually have me at this stage now. Oh boy, what I enjoy the most about being a musician, the joy that I see I bring to people when I perform. That is the thing I enjoy the most. I would say secondly, because the group I'm with, Triple K, we are live performing, touring entity, touring a lot. I enjoy that a lot. I've seen half the world for free. So I mean, you put all them things together, it's nice. It's a lot of hard work, but yeah, I enjoy these things. I don't really hate anything about me being a musician, really. It's just that I would say there's certain things in our industry, small industry in Dominica, that I would like to see change or dealt with a little differently. Maybe for one of them, the in terms of the critic of the music, I can take constructive criticism, but instead of, as opposed to the not I can say it, like backlashing the music and the artists for Bouyon. I mean, Bouyon just get a lot of scrutiny and some hard blows in Dominica, but it's accepted with open arms outside of Dominica. So I just wish our people and the industry was a little more, But hopefully things will change. Right now we are working on a Bouyon music industry, so we'll see where that goes to make things shape up a little better. One of the craziest things that happened to me while on tour, I would say it's maybe one of the craziest things that happened to my entire band while we were on tour. We were on our way to there's two instances. We were on our way to New York for Labor Day, and we had to overnight in Puerto Rico. And we got to Puerto Rico like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and our flight the next day was in the evening. So we decided that let's go night and see Puerto Rico. So I can't remember who had the bright idea. Let's go to a strip club. So we go in the strip club, and guys there and we check, yeah, strip club. So at some point there was just some, I didn't know they were cops, but I guess they were undercover cops because they were in like plain clothes, and made all the men inside the club go to one side, all the women in the club go to the other side. And we were like, what is going on? What happened in there now? Only to find out that there were some underage dancers at the club, and the police, and actually we didn't even know that at the time. They were just searching all of the women and taking their IDs. The men who were like, well, me, the band, and the rest of the men, we had to exit the club. It's only the next morning when we got up, we watching the TV on television in our hotel room, and we seeing the same incident happening on news, but we were not part of it. They didn't take us. So the police was raiding the club because of some women that were underage that were dancing. That was illegal. And maybe the other incident was a time that we were supposed to perform in. We went to London to perform, and we were walking down the main street in London. And after we went into a store, there were like 8 or 9 of us, and we walked into a store, jewelry store, and we were watching the jewelry and whatnot. And then we exited, walking down the street. When we tried to enter another jewelry store, the door is locked. So, but there's 2 doors. There's one door that you enter, and there's like another door, so you're inside this glass area. When we tried to enter the other door, they're not opening the door for us. So we decided that we are leaving. Tried to open the other door, we can't get out. And they actually locked us in, and then I think 2 police officers came, and then they opened the door, and so we're like, what is going on? We thought something is going on. Police officers tell us that they got a call that there were 10 suspicious black men walking down the street. Yeah, so that was my first run-in with that kind of a thing. So this was probably my 2 craziest times while on tour, traveling and stuff.
Rapid response recovery for all your heavy duty needs. We are the heavy towing and recovery specialists for breakdown of cars, trucks, buses and machinery. We offer 24-hour roadside assistance, crane service, container hauling, goods hauling, island-wide service and so much more. Rapid response recovery for all your heavy duty needs.
How did I get started in music? Really, I used to, before the name Triple K came about, Len and Tiki Matthew, my school friend from since primary school, he always used to sing, always loved singing, and I could drum. So what would happen now, there is an area in Lula village, that's where we're from, that's where I'm from. There's an area in the square, that like in the center of the village. Every Sunday there would be persons coming to sell cakes, coming to sell ice cream and whatnot. So once we pulled up there, we realized that everybody coming around that area every Sunday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon up to about 7 o'clock. So we're like, shh. But there was a telephone, at the time it was Cable and Wireless. They had them big boxes with all the wires on it. But I started pounding on it and I had a good song. So I'm like, shh, that's a good boy. And I had a little knife in my hand. So hitting that, and I stayed there drumming on that thing until it marked me. Well, I shouldn't even say that when I was come. But yeah, I bruised that, I scratched that up. I drumming on that box and Lennon singing. And that became like every Sunday people come there just to see Lennon and myself do that in the village. And it's from that point, it's after that then I met up with Keenan and Kurt, who actually made up Triple K, Kendel Killa and Kurt. And Keenan could play rhythm guitar and Kurt could play bass. And I was still drumming until when we met up with Etienne Amin Trading, who was the first drummer. He had some DJ equipment at his home and stuff, some speakers and stuff. So he told us we can come by him if we want to do a little practice. When we got by him, I thought I was going to drum. He said he has a drum set. Happened now, he brought us by him and he's the drummer. He said he'll drum. So I had to start trying to do something else, and I started going by my cousins and them. They had a little Casio keyboard. And when I went there, I saw David playing keyboard. David was checking this in my cousin. Yeah. David used to come by my cousin them every afternoon to check in my cousin. So, but every time he playing, he playing that song, Rough and Ready. I'm here, and David sing, I check it, boy. And I just started going by my keyboard, by my cousins and them every day, playing that song and playing this, just trying to play Jingle Bells, Mary Had a Little Lamb, all kind of little thing, until I burned those people keyboard. My mother had to end up buying me my own keyboard, concert kit. Yeah, I can remember that day I got for that keyboard. But yeah, that is how I got into the music scene. Just tell our fans and our friends to stay safe and to adhere to all the protocols that are put in place to protect ourselves, because when this is over, and by the good grace of God, this will be over, for your Triple K to come and give you some hardcore Bouyon music again, some nice party, some clean fun again, you know. So just tell our fans and our friends to just keep safe and be still there, man. You hear? I've been in music for, just call it 20 years, about 25 years. I've been playing music for 25 years. And one of the things I realized, you hear a lot of artists saying it, but you don't, it doesn't really sink in until you're actually doing music for a while. That, oh, now I get what they're saying, is you have to be true to yourself, and you have to be true to your craft and what you do. Because music at the end of the day is an expression, is how you feeling. Because if you try going to make someone else's material, you never put you into it, because you basically just copying every time. But to just be true to, if it's that you can sing about it, because there's an audience for that. If you can write about women and dancing, if it's that is where you find you're strong, then write about women and dancing. It might not be acceptable to all, but there's a crowd for it. There's a crowd for there's an audience for every topic that you can write about. So one of the best advice I got is to stay true to your craft, and that's why since I started playing music, I never copied anyone, and what I'm doing, I just continue doing it because it's loved by many, and I can see all the young bands, young artists coming up now following that same trend. So I mean, I did something good. Well, at least I think I did. One of my fondest memories, I'm going to tell you, and I know some of the guys in my band are going to be happy, but we'll laugh about it how many times. One of my fondest memories were, there was a time that we were performing at Newtown Savannah, that's Triple K, and I think it was 2 years, I think, in a row that we toured with Nai from WCK, and Nai was on the stage, and he was singing, and Nai just disappeared. Nai actually fell off the stage. So at first everyone like, what the hell happened? And then after, when we realized that he was okay, we laughed about it. Then we were playing at Crazy Coconuts, and the same thing happened again, but this time he was drunk. And now he fell off the stage again, but he fell off the stage, but he still had the mic singing, so he calling Benji. So you're not singing that, but you hear it, no. That's in that same Crazy Coconut, Benji fell off the stage. And after that, it was just like, so the backline of the band was like, you know what? Let's just, at every performance, we just waited to see who going to fall down. It even came to a point that at Creole Festival and Creole in the Park, we used to be just pull up there, we playing the intro, and we're like, okay, Benji's going to come out, running outside and say, Creole in the Park, are you ready? And just fly. And I mean, we were not wishing bad, but a part of us was like, boy, that would be funny as hell to see that happen. So yeah, this is probably one of my most my funniest moments playing. Oh, I make mistakes all the time, plenty time, but the beauty of it now is is not making the mistake, it's how you cover it. Because I play, well, musicians may understand, I play a lot of chromatic scales in my music. So I may be doing a slight solo or something, and I happen to touch a wrong note. You know what I do? I just do it over and over again, so it doesn't sound like a mistake. And depending on how you play it, it sounds something like it actually sounds nice. It's not just making a mistake. A lot of musicians make mistakes all the time, but for the mistake, something nice happens.
Yeah.
So you just have to as a musician, you just have to know which one, at what point to to just bring it up. But yeah, I make mistakes all the time when I'm playing. I'm not perfect all the time, but some of the mistakes just happen to be sometimes the most popular thing. I remember once, just recently when we were playing in St. Joseph opening for Carnival, and Alfil singing a tune, and he was chanting a tune, and while he's singing it, and I'm trying to think of a lyric to go, and I just did pap pap, I tried to get the notes, and I just heard, I had in monitors at the time, Benji just followed, yes killer, that is it there, do it again, and Benji, and he actually said what I did. People are the pap pap, but I wasn't actually playing something. I was trying to get the chords of what I was playing, and that became the lead part for a song. Pap pap, so out of mistakes, good things come out. So. But I think the last time I was nervous before a performance was maybe back in 2005 or 2007, maybe around there. It was before 2010 for sure. And we had a performance to do in Texas, and Marshall Montana was on that show as well, but we were flying from New York because we had a show in New York to fly to Texas to do that show. Marshall Montana and his band itself was flying from New York to Texas to do that same show. Happened now, I guess the plane was overloaded with luggage or whatever it is. Our keyboards didn't come, so the band Triple K keyboards didn't come, but Marshall Montana's bass guitar didn't come. So here we are going to perform on the same show, and Marshall Montana bassman doesn't have a bass, Triple K doesn't have keyboards. So we had to kind of come together and decided that okay, we'll lend all you our bass guitar and they'll lend us our keyboards. So finally check out the big Marshall Montana, we will come, do our thing, and then go. Tell you, when Marshall went to sound check, they decided that they're playing first, they're not playing last. And it's like 80%, if that was in Texas, 80% of the crowd at the venue. We know just going to be 3 audience, So we're like, oh, Marshall want to play first. And everything leading up to that was just nerve-wracking. When we were at the hotel, the promoter came and he said, your vehicle is downstairs waiting for you. So we get downstairs, we watch from our room and we see one stretch Humvee. So we're like, boy, we'll reach like that one day, boy. Checking Marshall Montana, they come home, we'll tell you. When we get downstairs, Marshall Montana and his band. By the way, Marshall Montana and Benji coming out in the room together, they were tight at the time. Them fellas dressed, I think they had dressed the same way. Both of them had white blazer jackets on them at the time. And they were vibing. So Marshall and his band went into the stretch limo and they stretch Humvee and they go. So we're waiting for one little bus now, we tell you, a stretch Humvee come for us to be going. 2 stretch Humvee, so we check it, yeah, that's good. And when we reach at the venue, Marshall shaking up the place, Marshall just kill the venue. Flat, Marshall just kill it. So we're checking, what we going to do to play after that? And like, boy, as I get nervous, as I get free. And I'm going to perform on some instruments that they are not mine. There's somebody else. So he has his thing pre-programmed. My stuff is not pre-programmed. So like it would on the flight going to be very difficult for me to maneuver all that. And Marshall Montana get off stage and the DJ's played and we setting up, and boy, I sweating bullets and checking like what we gonna do. Boy, from the time we start playing the intro, Nai was still with us at the time. I just saw Nai ran on stage with the Dominica flag on his back like a cape. When Nai he ran from my side and he ran out and Benji ran out and Tazi. When them guy fellas ran out and I saw the energy they ran out with, I just came on, what God, looking at Seuss playing. And when I watched on Joffrey's side, Marshall Montana is standing up there on the side of the stage and I check in, with all. And I see watching the crowd, I check in, boy, no, shit up. Let me tell you, see that 45 for that split, that the our performance, I think it was 45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour performance, as opposed and compared to the nervousness of the whole day, it paid off. Yeah, because from the time they told us we would play Aftermath in Montana, I was like, oh shit. I remember we not played Aftermath in Montana with Dominica. We're in Aftermath in Montana in a foreign country that dominated by Trinidadians. So that was probably my most nerve-wracking and nervous time. But after that, never get nervous again after that. My girlfriend Tora Sendo blessed me 2.5 years ago with my first son. I really don't like to say that I balance it. I try my best to make it come together and make it work, but you still have to balance it. The good thing about it is I didn't realize that after having, well, I guess you're not going to realize it unless after you make a child for yourself, that like having a child makes you work 10 times harder, but you don't feel it as much as if you was just doing it for yourself. I don't know if it actually makes sense, but maybe fathers and parents might understand what I just said there. It's like before you're doing it and you're checking like you're just working on, but it's like right now I'm working on because I know I have to provide for him. It's like the work, you actually working harder, but you're not even really checking on you. He's like a motivator right now. So it's just like having like competition in the industry. The same thing it does to you. That's what my son doing for me now. It's like is motivation. So I'm not going to lie and say it doesn't hold me back sometimes. Well, especially now in this COVID season, the fact that schools are not open because he started school already. Schools are not open, daycare centers are not open, so and I can't perform. So I'm the one home watching him. So he's with me 24/7. His mom works, but when she leaves in the morning, 8 o'clock, she comes back 6 in the evening. So most of the day he's with me, and I put some of my studio equipment at home so I can work from home. But if I get 2 hours out of a day to actually do something, I get plenty, because he's not the kind of kid to just I give him his tablet and he sit down there or whatever. If I put on my keyboard, he wants to play keyboard. If I put on the mic, he wants to sing. So he's active, he's energetic like that. If I'm doing drums, he wants to make sure he's part of it. So actually have to make him feel like he's part of something. So if I put drums on something, I'll actually have to make him come and put the drums. Make him make him do everything. Come to be part of it. It makes my work a little slower, but hey, it is what it is. So I try my best to balance it. So far I think I'm doing very well. To connect with me, I maybe been one of the easiest to connect with because my full name, I use my full name everywhere on all social media. So it's Kendel Laurent at gmail.com. It's Kendel Laurent on Instagram. It's Kendel Laurent everywhere. So KENDEL LAURENT, and you can find me anywhere. First of all, I'd like to thank God for the blessings, and it's because of Him I can do what I'm doing right now. Secondly, my mother, both my mother and my father, both parents, but especially my mother. She bought me my first keyboard, and then she bought me my second keyboard, which was my professional keyboard at the time. She bought me my second keyboard from Cornell Fingers Phillips. She bought me that keyboard that cost, at the time it was like $3,000 for that keyboard. So thanks to my mom, and my mom's still going to my events when she can. Carnival, she just put her ticket shirt on her and do little things. My father is a reggae man. He's behind me, but he's not into Bouyon. He's a reggae. He like culture and he like Lucky Dubby, and that's his vibe. But he supports me. Both my parents support me. My friends, my close friends, my girlfriend behind me 100%. Our fans. Yeah, thanks to all of the people. It's because of the fans that we're still here right now. If you don't have fans and you play music, then you might as well stop.
Yeah.
You just there played for if you just played that for like you're not into the I guess if you just want to be a musician for yourself, then fine. But your fans that have to keep you there, and thanks to the fans that stay true to us and stay true to me, and look out for the season coming. Some big productions, some big surprises. Yeah, man.